Hello everyone, I'm Entom64.
I'm the Flameclaw.
And I'm X-Gamer Richie.
And welcome to the first Hellfire Comms Sonic the Hedgehog commentaries of the year. I feel reborn, like one who sips upon the dew of the lily in the morning. I don't know where I'm going with this, but anywho, the subject of this batch of commentaries is basically the Sega Master System and Game Gear games, them being Sonic the Hedgehog 1, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic the Hedgehog Chaos, Triple Trouble, and Blast. Not 3D Blast, that would be fun. No, just plain old singular word, Blast. And you may be wondering to yourself, where's Labyrinth? Well, I did that years ago with Song Call Me Johnny and FTA, and I'm not really wanting to redo it anytime soon. And you may ask a follow-up question, well, didn't you already do Sonic 1 and Chaos with Gareth? Well, shut up, it's theming. So, Flame, tell us all about Sonic the Hedgehog 1 for the Master System, if you would please. My very first game, if you don't count the built-in version of Alex Kidd.
Ooh.
Sonic the Hedgehog Master System, it may share a name with the Mega Drive game, but it's actually, as you can see from like the first take of like Green Hill we've been through, it's quite a radically different game.
Ooh.
As well as the obviously being technically different, it has new levels, it has some alternate interpretations of the Mega Drive levels, which for better or worse you can take however. But yeah, it's pretty much its own adventure, and what we're seeing right here, this is this game's special stage, which the special stages in this, they aren't actually where you get the Chaos Emeralds from, unlike the Mega Drive games. This is actually just for like, you know, extra lives, continues, things like that.
It's just a bounce, really, yeah.
It is, you turn up here, you get bounced around all over the fucking place, you ain't got a clue of, like, hope in hell of getting where you want to go, but, you know, it is what it is. I'm only really showing this off, and I think a couple later that I end up in accidentally, but, yeah.
I never really understood what, like, the picture on the signpost means at the end. Can you get, like, extra continues and lives depending on who it lands on?
I think you can, and I think who it lands on is actually decided by, I think it's the unit figure in how many, like, either the rings or the score. I'm not sure exactly, but it's like one of these things that is technically not random, but it's also not something you're going to have that easy control over either.
Okay. Now like Flame said, we will be finding the Chaos Emeralds in a different manner. We'll be finding them in the levels themselves, which is honestly pretty cool. Done better here than in the Master System version of Sonic 2, where it became a bit of a ball ache, but we'll get to that when we get to that. I think, I'm not sure if this was ever confirmed, but didn't Generations take a little bit of like the underground sections from this game?
Well, it does go underground in the Generations interpretation of Green Hill. Whether it's a nod to this or whether it's just a little bit of a stylistic choice, I'm not entirely sure. I'd like to think it's a nod to this, but yeah, you can never be sure.
So, Rich, what's your experience with the original Sonic the Hedgehog? And if you say you've never played it, you will break my heart, so think on.
Well, unfortunately, Tom, yeah, I'm kind of going to be breaking your heart right now, because I have absolutely no experience of the original Sonic the Hedgehog. Actually, no, tell a lie, other than, you know, playing it in Generations for like a level. And definitely have no experience of the Master System one, other than the music for Bridge Zone, which I actually do quite love.
We'll get to that in Zone 2, but right now, Eggman is giving it all this. Is this meant to be South Island, Flame?
I believe so, yes. It's very much like the epitome of classic Sonic lore, really.
Yeah.
Eggman's doing his, you know, turning the animals into robots and all that shit, which is actually more fucked up than, you know, it might seem on the surface than what you think about it. But this boss is kind of a joke.
Yeah, he doesn't have any kind of, like, extensions to the Egg-O-Matic. He just flies back and forth, and then occasionally he descends and then flies towards you, so you can take this opportunity to get a few hits in and whatnot, and he always looks surprised. Like, you weren't expecting this the third time around?
Yeah, it's like, what else is Sonic gonna do here? Come on, dude. But this one, I believe it's actually easier in the Game Gear one because of the screen crunch putting him lower on the screen during that first phase, so I think you can get extra hits in on
Oh,
him.
Jesus.
That is the thing. Most of these games we're covering are going to be Master System games. I can never pronounce the word master for some reason. I don't know why.
That's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, they're going to be they're games that are released on both that and the Game Gear. Where it exists, I'm going to be playing the console version of it, just because you get a bigger screen resolution, so there's less screen crunch and whatnot. That won't be the case for Triple Trouble because there wasn't officially a Master System version of that. But the rest of them, that's what we're going to be playing on.
Here we go. The first original level for the Master System version of Sonic 2. And it's pretty cool. It's just a series of bridges and whatnot with some of the most iconic music to me in terms of Sonic in general. This is up there with Lava Reef. This is up there with Speed Highway at Dawn, Pyramid Cave, Planet Wisp on the Wii version of the game. Not really looking at you, Generation. Sorry, I can't really abide the remix of Planet Wisp. Oh my God, Flame, you're killing it right now.
Yeah, this game, I didn't actually show off the complete break you can do in the first Green Hill Act, but it is actually possible to just run so fast you get caught off the right side of the screen and it just keeps on going. You can build up some speed in some parts, but the frame rate doesn't really like it when you do, as you might have noticed as it lags out a little bit there.
Yeah, I was watching it and just going, yep, that's going super slow, really incredibly super slow. Just how are you even playing at this point?
Oh, wait till we get to Labyrinth Zone.
Oh, gosh.
Yes.
It's kind of Nights-esque, this bonus stage, but what always stuck out to me is just the bright colours and whatnot. It feels a bit like a carnival, and those green and yellow poles we saw in the first special stage, they kind of remind me of a certain ice cream they used to sell in the 90s, so I was always kind of...
Are you thinking about Twisters, Tom?
I may in fact be thinking of Twisters, Rich.
Yeah, they still exist.
Oh.
And they're still delicious.
I haven't been outside in a long time, so I may have to update my ice cream database.
Because I just don't like ice cream, so I'm fine.
Well, that's what you get for having multiple cavities, mate. That's on you, I'm afraid.
Hey, I've never liked it even before my teeth were fucked.
Yeah, I see. A savoury line. Oh my God, it's an auto-scrolling stage. Oh, Jesus, stage 28 of Forces, get out of here.
I'm not sure which I would take, either this or that Forces level. I'm just not a fan of auto-scrolls in general, really.
I would say take this one because this has got the fun, funky music that never really got used anywhere else other than here.
Yeah, true. I guess, having a good song to sort of tap your foot to while you're waiting for the screen to slowly crawl across does make it that little bit less tedious, I guess.
Flame, we all know Michael Jackson had a big influence on the Sonic franchise, at least in the Mega Drive days music-wise, but his sister, I believe, has a song that sounds strikingly similar and familiar to Bridge Zone, isn't that right?
I'm not actually sure what song you're talking about.
Oh,
I haven't heard about that one.
Let's see, Janet Jackson, Bridge Zone.
You do that while the bridge pieces just slowly fall down on screen.
Together again, apparently.
There you go. There's even a comparison when you type in Janet Jackson Bridge Zone Sonic, directly into Google as the first one.
Apparently also it might be Everywhere I Go. It's one of the two.
Everywhere I Go. Something like that.
Oh God, every song ever sounds like something from Sonic, I got it.
Well, I don't want to, perpetuate the stereotype of having to inject Sonic into everything, because you're, not qualified to talk about anything else in any other area of life, but I talk over Sonic for the internet, so there you go.
Well, okay.
What is the point of this, weight system here? Did Robotnik really think this was going to stop us?
I have no idea. Well, this is the same guy who came up with the brilliant idea of let's slowly drive towards him for the first boss.
Yeah.
So, he really hasn't thought this through at all.
No, this is basically the idiotic version of Robotnik, because obviously at this point he would have been Robotnik in most American and European viewpoints. Obviously Eggman's still in Japan, but still. So yeah, this is clearly his stupid phase of existence.
Wow, Jesus. Richie, he takes no prisoners when he's burning people. I should know, having to deal with him in, playthroughs like Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, Okami, Super Mario. I'm just naming playthroughs that we've done together now.
I know, and really the only one where I've been potentially slightly not the most pleasant to people was probably Odyssey, and that's just because you're playing it live and it was just like, Tom, I can't help judging you during this because, I've managed to do this myself and it's quite frustrating. It's that whole thing of backseat driving, of when you're watching somebody else struggle with something, you're just like, oh, just do it properly. And it's not even really that there's anything going wrong. It's just that it's the really frustrating thing of when you're not in control and you just think, if just give me control, I'd be happy.
I think you just inadvertently added yourself as a control freak. Stop staring and stalking us. I know you're there.
So Richie comes up with this big, reasoning why he's, backseating and that, whereas I can just admit I like being a dick.
Yeah, that's why I respect Flame in those instances more than you, Richie, I'm just gonna say.
But here's another boss where he's not really doing that much, although at least this time he actually has a projectile, so he's got a bit of a step up, but
Yeah, and also it's a projectile that you can't hit back at him, so I mean, I suppose it's definitely an improvement.
Yeah, but he still died, so was it really worth it?
I'm trying to think whether that was a homage to Marble Zone's boss and whatnot, and the only reason is because it tangentially uses fire and whatnot, so...
Well, it has got the stick the head up attack approach, but then there've been a few other bosses that are like that as well, so maybe it is just a type of boss they go to sometimes.
Jungle Zone, the next unique stage of Sonic the Hedgehog Master System trademark by... I'm gonna get this, Flame, don't you dare say it! Ancient. What the hell else did they develop?
They've also worked on Streets of Rage 2 and 3, the Mega Drive versions, and they also have some minor production credit on Shenmue, but I don't really know to what extent that is for.
Huh. Be interesting to find out, but now is not the time. We must instead talk about how nice the level looks and how great and upbeat the music is.
Definitely is.
I will say, Jungle Zone, it's one of the levels that I remember the most from Sonic 1 Master System.
Yeah.
I think that is because it's quite different to a lot of the level themes from the Mega Drive one. So, because, I will say, I've much prefer Sonic 1 Mega Drive over this. But,
I could disagree completely. I much prefer this to Sonic 1 Mega Drive. When it comes to Sonic 2, I think the Mega Drive one's got the edge, but Master System Sonic 1, mwah, nostalgia is a blinding son of a bitch.
Yeah, whereas the Mega Drive one is actually better in a lot of ways, so...
I'm not debating, on a technical basis here. I'm talking strictly about fanboy wankery.
Yeah, so now we know to discard your opinions.
But then, to be fair, that is pretty much how everyone judges every Sonic game ever. I mean, obviously, we're recording this, a day after the South by Southwest Sonic panel, which was a little bit, overall in terms of the stuff that was revealed, but it was quite fascinating watching the Q&A bit, because you had one person saying my first Sonic game was Sonic Colors 8 years ago, and it was just oh god, I'm old.
I think one of my fingers on my left hand immediately crumbled to dust, and I was like, it starts.
I know. It was just Jesus. And then there was also things there was one lad who said that Silver was his favourite character, and he was quite young, and it was just because...
Yeah, Shadow's so much cooler.
Because even though I came into the Sonic franchise quite late in the day,
yeah,
it was still even before, Silver existed, and it's just my god... It just made me feel really, really old. I
gotta say though, having Sonic Colors as your first game, that's not bad as far as first Sonic games go. In fact, let's go around the Skype/Discord table here. Flame, what was your first Sonic game?
As far as I recall, when I was very young, it would have been Sonic 1 Mega Drive. Like, I seem to remember, like, my older brothers would bring their Mega Drive over, like, on the weekends and whatnot, and I'd play games with them.
Aww.
And I remember playing, like, Sonic 1 Mega Drive quite a fair bit.
Well, before we get to Richie, let me just say, the screen is scrolling up. Everything underneath it counts as a death zone, so be very careful.
Yeah, I believe they actually changed that in the Game Gear one, to my recollection. I think you can fall back down safely in that.
Huh, interesting. Anyway, Richie, your first Sonic game, mate.
So yeah, my first Sonic game was actually Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
Wow.
But in terms of first Sonic game they actually beat, that would be Sonic Unleashed.
Okay.
Because I didn't actually beat Sonic Adventure 2 Battle or Sonic Heroes until surprisingly recently in the grand scheme of things. It's still a few years ago now, but it's a long time after I actually beat a number of other Sonic games.
Fair enough, mate, fair enough. I mean, with Heroes, you've got the whole, crutch of getting the Chaos Emerald to use Team Rose for an easy win, by the way.
Yeah, you see what happened with that one was that I got with Team Rose to Egg Emperor, and then I got stuck. And then I put it away forever. Then I finally beat Team Rose, came back to it, and then went on to try and do all the other stories. And I can't remember exactly where I got stuck. I think it was the... is it Frog Forest or the whatever one's the one with the alligator jumping bit?
The second one, yeah.
The second one. Yeah, I got stuck on that and then put it down because it frustrated me. And then eventually I did beat it. Similar sort of stop and start that I had with Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, because that was... Got stuck on Crazy Gadget.
Oh.
Put it away. Got stuck on the Prison Island with Rouge. Put it away for a bit. Got to... Shadows. Is Shadow Final Rush?
Final Chase.
Got stuck on that one, put it away. Final Chase, whichever one it is. Got stuck on that, put it away. Then eventually got to Cannon's Core, got stuck, put it away. Got to BioLizard, got stuck, put it away. And then eventually came back and beat it. So yeah, those two took me a very, very, very long time.
Getting stuck in a video game, the only instance I have of that in recent years is friggin' Puyo Puyo Tetris, where I think I'm on Chapter 5, Stage 9 versus Eklo, Tetris v Tetris, and I can't fucking beat the goddamn guy!
Yeah, pro tip, because I did watch you play a bit of that when you did that video with Tanner. Just a tip for Tetris, you're not meant to build it up to the top.
Oh, I'm seething. Explain the differences between Labyrinth Mega Drive and Labyrinth Master System, you cook.
Well, here, if you get 15 frames per second out of this, you're doing well.
And that's the primary difference, and since this is a stage shared with its Mega Drive counterpart, I'm going to just talk about the difference between the Game Gear and the Master System versions of the game. The Game Gear version has a lower screen resolution but a larger colour palette. Sonic's sprite is smaller, and the control is said to feel lighter, i.e. Sonic can accelerate and decelerate more easily and can jump higher. In the first zone, warning signs were added near pits because the narrow screen and the high speed of the game do not give the players enough time to know what is ahead of them. The Jungle Zone Act 2 allows the player to fall below the level's bottom, as though into a bottomless pit, without losing a life, much like Richie said, making the stage easier in the portable version. Here we go. The Labyrinth Zone level design in the Game Gear version is significantly changed from the Master System edition. Most notably, the Chaos Emerald is in an entirely different location, and all Chaos Emeralds are blue. Several bosses, including the final one, were modified from the Master System version. Additionally, the springs found in the bonus stages had received modifications to their colour palettes. Finally, there were two enemies which only appeared once in the Master System version, the Borobot and the Bomb. In the Game Gear version, there are more Borobots in the Labyrinth Zone, and the Bomb, which was only encountered at Act 2 of Skybase, is now infesting Act 1 as well, so Game Gear just sounds like a bit of a more shit time overall.
Yeah, and very good job on reading from the Sega Wikia there, Tom, on that one. It's quite an impressive read.
Hey, that all came from my mind, I'll have you find.
Very, very likely story. I didn't totally just read that along with you as you were saying it.
Jesus, man.
Now, look at the jump in performance as soon as the water stops being on the screen. Look at that, it just sparks way back up. Now, also, I I was watching a long play of the Game Gear version earlier just to kind of get a feel for the differences. And in that version, it seems like the spikes, the hitbox in that is really weird. Like, I swear the guy was jumping like halfway through the spike sprite without getting hit. It's like really fucking bizarre. Like, it might be in this, but like I naturally try to be a bit careful when I'm recording, but hey.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Do you have any horror stories about Labyrinth in either version of the game, Flame? Because it's usually where players start to trip up in either version of the game, I found.
Well, it's not so much difficult as it is just kind of boring. Like, that's going in both the 8-bit and 16-bit versions, because like this, it's just a real chug whenever you're underwater. Like, look at this. This is honestly a little bit depressing. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's a little bit fiddly as well. Like, you might have saw in the last act, there was that part where the sort of Urbanaut kind of guy was firing off his 4 little bombs there, and I just slowly walked away from him and went to a live platform just until he got there. But like shit like that, it just all sort of builds up, and it's just a bit of a grind. And the 16-bit version, like, it's better, but it's still a bit on the dull side.
Well, I guess we know which stage isn't getting into Generations 2 whenever that comes out. I'm amazed at their restraint of not making a second Generations game as quickly as possible and trying to make something original. For all their choices, like, Sega often don't go for the choice that would make them the most money, ironically.
Well, you see, I think that's because, to put it bluntly, I don't think they actually know what they're doing.
A lot of the time that does seem like it, but yeah, like I suppose they are sort of doubling down on Mania a little bit with like that thing, which kind of I would have preferred a sequel rather than like an enhanced version, even if it is cool to see like Mighty and Ray finally get out of that bar.
Oh yeah, Mighty the Armadillo and Ray the Flying Squirrel coming to Sonic Mania Plus, which is a bit of add-on DLC, which I believe is going to be offered to players who have an existing copy of Mania at a discount, and you can obviously, you know, buy it separately. You don't have to like, oh, that's the point. It's coming to retail as well, is Sonic Mania Plus, which is pretty great. And I think we will revisit Sonic Mania later this year just to check out Plus, because you know, there's a couple of new characters. I want to see how they play. And also, we never did cover Knuckles' side of things, which does have its own, admittedly brief side story, but it's still cool all the same.
And you get to be Knuckles.
And you get to be Knuckles, of course, yeah.
Well, you know, as long as you don't chuckle, you're fine.
I will say, that Chaos Emerald I just got, that one's kind of a bit of a sneaky one, because like, unless you're either willing to take a hit or got the invincibility, that's going to be a pain in the ass to pick up, because it's actually in the spike pit.
Oh.
Yeah, I can see why that might have had to be moved in the Game Gear one.
Bless. Alright, time for Act 3 and the boss. I can't remember the Labyrinth. Oh, I remember now. It's the Climb of Death in the Mega Drive version.
Yeah. They've changed it in this one though, so yeah.
I don't know whether I'd call this better, but we'll see what happens when we get there. There's no, like, oxygen bubble shield in this one, is there, Flame?
No, there's not. I don't think that was a thing until quite a bit later. Was that 3NK where they started bringing the shields in? Yeah, I think it was, because like, I remember like in Hydro City you can get the bubble and things like that.
Well, in Hydrocity, definitely, yeah.
Had to get one in.
So, does Sonic not need to breathe during this boss fight?
No, I think you're right in the boss. Like, you're constantly running out of air in the main levels, as we saw with the countdowns popping up all the time, but I think you're safe here. Like, I know this is the point where I'm due for a counter just to come up to prove me wrong, but I don't recall having to get air.
Oh, you missed your perfect run there, Flame. I'm going to have to ask you to re-record the entire playthrough.
I saw your fucking Mania run. Shut the fuck up.
My Mania run was fine, I'll have you find.
Yeah, nice falling into that bottomless pit there. That's that boss down. We're actually getting through this really quickly because these games are all like very short. Even compared to like the Mega Drive ones, because like this has got 6 levels and most of them are all on that kind of tier.
Of course, couldn't finish Sonic the Hedgehog 1 without a visit to the Scrap Brain Zone. I always loved, like, the aesthetic of this version of the game, because it's not obviously as, you know, elaborate as its Mega Drive brother, but it still looks nice, like with the red and the orange in the background. You got, like, the harsh red on black with the yellow windows.
Yeah, the outside sections look really cool. The inside sections I don't really care much for, but I think part of that is also associating it with the level design, which it's not that pleasant, especially during certain parts, because it's a bit of a maze they've got going on in Scrap Brain.
It's Robotnik's hideout. What do you expect? Like him to have a sign saying, "This way, Sonic, come fuck me in the arse."
Well, he usually fucking does.
You're not wrong, you're not wrong.
Most of the time he's got a big robot with a glowing light on it saying, like, "Shoot me here, you twat."
And, you know, there was the whole Eggman incident in Sonic Unleashed. You couldn't have painted a bigger target on your back if you tried.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, in that instance with the whole Eggman Land thing, he wanted Sonic to get there, so it's that whole thing of "come at me, bro."
I guess in Sonic Adventure, when he asked Sonic, "Can you make it here?" he wasn't being facetious, he was asking a legitimate question.
Well, makes you wonder why he doesn't, like, try a bit of a fake-out strategy, like just build your massive fucking Eggman Land with your logo and your face all over it, but hide out like in a bunker on the other side of the world or something.
And then, like, blow it up and whatnot. I thought you were gonna, exactly to the letter, like, describe the plot of Sonic Colors, and then you made him a pussy at the end of it, which is a little bit disappointing.
Well, I mean, the whole Interstellar amusement park thing, that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Now, you might be thinking, wow, we reached the final level of Sonic 1 much faster than in the Mega Drive version. No, there's still one more level after this, and exclusive to the Master System version of the game, I believe.
Yep, and really cool to look at and a little bit aesthetically overwhelming, depending on how good your eyes are. We'll see that in a few minutes. This is a bit of a mazy section. I had to go through that teleporter to get the Chaos Emerald, and now I've got to just sort of go back on myself a bit. It's a little bit confusing, and yes, I totally got this maze down perfectly on my first attempt. Don't question it.
Of course, Flame. Of course.
We're judging you, Flame. Judgment!
Tom, the master of getting everything down in one take, is fine.
I'm going to let you have that. I'm going to let you have that, because I was the one who initiated battle there.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you actually need to do the rolling down hills there. I think you can do just a big jump on the right, but fuck it, this is more fun.
Oh, I remember this bit. Don't you have to jump over like a hole in the floor?
I think so. It was actually about a year ago I recorded this, so I'm seeing this come back to me as I see the sections that are annoying.
Yep, there we go. Oh. Zhoop.
Maybe I'm going a different way to you, I honestly don't know.
There you go. Just have a charity one-up and then do the whole thing again.
Yeah, see, it's funny because I think in the levels it shows your lives capping off at 9, but when you're on the world map and it's transitioning to the next level, it shows how many you actually have. Like, I could swear I saw 13 on there a minute ago.
Well, I think you might just be going crazy from too many retakes, my friend. It is likely. It is very likely.
It seems like the sort of thing. Like, I feel like I've gone in a circle here, but I'm pretty sure this is actually the right way to do this.
Well, the reason you feel like you've gone in a circle is because you've kind of gone up and down and up and down and up and down and all around, really.
Oh my god, more SA1 stuff. Jesus.
Was up and down and all around SA1?
Yes, it was, you fake Sonic fan.
I've never played SA1, goddammit.
Well, get on that. It's a fucking great game.
You haven't played the best Sonic Adventure game? Don't even at me. Don't reply to me in the comments. It's the best. If you do...
No, it's not. You're fucking wrong.
If you hurt my feelings, I will maybe just cry for a bit. I can't really shut down the channel. I won't be able to pay my mum rent otherwise.
I'll just go with... Well, I can't really say that Sonic Unleashed is the best adventure game, really, can I? Unless I go with Sonic World Adventure, in which case, yes, it is.
Oh.
You're missing out the brilliance that was Tails Adventures on the Game Gear.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're not covering that because that's a Tails game. Ah, yeah, brilliant, Tom. Brilliant. It's actually...
Maybe one day.
it's actually not bad, Tails Adventure, apparently. I was watching Johnny play it way back in the Sonic-a-thon, and it's kind of like a platformer, puzzle, RPG-ish hybrid. It's a bit strange for a game starring one of Sonic's friends. Not a shitty friend, they came after. But, yeah, I would recommend giving it a show.
No, well, the real Tails adventures were the shitty friends we made along the way.
Yeah.
But also, I'm kind of more a fan of Sky Patrol if we're talking about the Tails games, because it's like I do like Sky Patrol. It can be quite difficult in parts, but you know, I'd take that over the whole Metroidvania thing that Adventures has going on.
See, he's just doing it again. He could have kept the platform up there, but he's like, no, Sonic, come and destroy my expensive, elaborate sky base.
Well, you see, that's because this Eggman, as I said, is an idiot, quite clearly.
I think it might be a pride thing, honestly, because we'll see this in one of the bosses in the next game we're covering as well, but I think Eggman wants it to be him who beats Sonic. He doesn't want Sonic to just get screwed over unfairly.
Oh, it doesn't get its own level theme. That's a bit of a disappointment.
No, but we do get our own photosensitive seizures, because goddamn, this is a recurring trend with the 8-bit games. They do like their flashing lights, which is a little bit annoying at parts.
I mean, it could be worse. It could be flashing red and blue, which would obviously be proper epileptic fit coloration. I mean, I'm pretty sure, like I think it's the original Legend of Zelda. I think that does like a flashes red, and that's just, oh my god, it's awful.
The worst colours for flickering for that are red and cyan, because like they're that complete opposite thing. Like that's the whole thing going back to like, you know, the Porygon incident and whatnot. But yeah, this is still like, even though I don't have like health issues relating to this, I still find it a little bit overwhelming when you just get these rapid flickers like this.
Yeah.
I will hold my tongue unless I say something very insensitive there. But this is an interesting zone, because I'm not sure whether it's, I don't know if confirmation bias is the correct term, but I swear, in Mania, Christian Whitehead and his team incorporated some elements of Skybase Zone into Flying Battery, like some of the interconnected electrical things in the sky and whatnot.
That's got to be intentional. Like, I think it's too similar, like with the lightning effects and that, for it to be a coincidence, especially with those guys in charge.
Yes, I would definitely agree with that one. They're the type of people, from what I've gathered, that they like to be very precise in what they're referencing, and yeah, that would not surprise me in the slightest.
Can you not stand on the tippy edge of a platform, please? You're giving me a near seizure here.
Well, you know how I like to tempt fate. You saw me falling off the edge of that thing in Unleashed.
True, very true.
And also, Tom, I think it might give you a heart attack rather than a seizure, but there we go.
No, the heart attack would come after, mate. I just have so many health issues.
Well, see, the thing is, like, you get nervous about this, but, like, do you honestly think I would have left it in if I fucked up?
Knowing you, no. I guess he's just showing up when he puts the Chaos Emerald right on the edge of his ship, and also thinks someone's got Mario Free Envy.
Yes, they are liking their airship thing a little bit here.
Okay, there we go. I like how it had unique music outside and then goes directly back to Scrap Brain Zone on the interior of the ship. What you want is what you want, I suppose. The gaming heart will want what it wants.
Unless they're using that less of a Scrap Brain theme, more of just a motif for Eggman bases, possibly, because like when you're inside the Sky Base, it still technically is an Eggman base.
True.
So that could be what they're going for a little bit.
Okie dokie, final boss time. This one is interesting and unique to this version of the game, I suppose. I wouldn't call it enjoyable, but Flame, why don't you quickly explain how it works?
Well, there's things trying to shock you, and you've got to try not to get shocked, so that's pretty much what's going on here.
There you go.
I'm intrigued by your use of the word interesting when describing that, because it literally is a laser that moves from the right to the left.
And sometimes it just cuts out, or like it's not there, and then it randomly reappears again. I don't know if that's an emulation error or whether it's in the base game, but yeah, all you gotta do here is just keep hitting the glass that's surrounding Eggman. You know, he's desperate at this point. All he's got is like a safe space, really.
Pretty much. Like, I wouldn't like build my safe area out of glass, but hey, each to their own.
I love that he's just standing on a switch which he keeps having to jump on in order to cause the laser to kind of fall down. But what seems to be happening is that sort of him jumping on the switch is sort of linked to the other laser breaking. So really, Eggman needs to get his shit sorted.
Word, Richie, word to your mother, my mother, and all of our mothers, and oh my god, Eggman just disintegrated. Well, I guess we'll follow suit, I suppose. Game's over, nothing left to live for, but... what's this on the horizon? A secret ending? Has Sonic finally beaten Eggman?
Apart from the fact that there's like another 25 years worth of games after this, but hey.
There you go. This is what happens, obviously, if you get all the Chaos Emeralds, same as in the 16-bit version of the game, but that's it for Sonic the Hedgehog 1 for the Master System. I still have a really major soft spot for it being my first Sonic game and nearly my first game in general, and beautiful, South Island is once again restored. Keep an eye out in the credits for what you may find to be a familiar tune that was remixed for Savannah Citadel Day in Sonic Unleashed. And yeah, we're done here. Come back tomorrow when we'll be checking out Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Master System. This Sonic train don't stop. It's 18 Sonics left. Jesus Christ. Oh god, it's going to count them all down.
Yeah, it goes down one by one. We got to wait before we sign off a little bit here.
There, no Sonics left, as is my patience. Fuckity bye. Oh god, no!
Welcome to Hellfire Comms. We try to sign off sometimes.
You did this on purpose, Flame. Okay, guys, we'll see you tomorrow for the final time this time.
Yeah, there's credits in the sec, don't worry.